Your call has been forwarded.
Brats. Hi, guys. Hold on. I don't know if I can tell if there is people here yet. All right. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone tonight? Sorry, I'm trying to mute and do 12 things at once. I apologize. All right. Hi, hi, hi. Hi, Ben. Hi, Pat at work. Mystical Enlightenment. Hi. Hi, Jewel, Donna, Zumbrea, Owl's Perch, Dragon Wings. Hi, guys. So how is everyone tonight? Hold on. How can I do this? I want to mute. Oh, no, I don't really want to mute chat. Damn it. All right. You may have to listen to a little bit just in case they need me over there. Hi, Bob. Hi, Maya, Vanessa, Marsha, Rowena, Little B, Amber. My goodness. Hi, guys. Looking into growing mushrooms. Oh, that sounds fun. I would do that. It's funny, you know. So I don't know if I should say this on a live. Do I talk about this or not? Well, yeah, I guess kind of, because we haven't done anything yet. So it's funny. Oh, and he's not a minor anymore. Duh. I'm talking about my oldest son, who is, shit, how old is he now? 26, 27. So I guess he's not a minor, Jen. I'm an idiot. So I was talking to, actually, my son brought it up to me, that he's been investigating mushrooms and ayahuasca and that kind of stuff. And he's like, Mom, I really would like to do an ayahuasca journey or something with you. And I said to him, isn't it funny being from a spiritual, like an openly spiritual family, that you can talk about this with your mother? And that we can talk about, yeah, it would be great. I would like to do that. I would like to do that with someone, like with an actual professional journey kind of person. And I thought, it's just, I bet you a lot of people, I don't know, would think of that as a weird thing, you know, but because he grew up in a spiritually open household, and open in a lot of ways, he feels like he can talk to me about that kind of stuff. And as a matter of fact, it was like, you know, I really would like you to be there, because the more I investigate it, the more I think that you would have a really good journey too. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. I have talked about it. We've investigated and talked about it. Hi, Shauna. And I think so too. I agree completely. But I thought, isn't that funny that most people would not think that that was a normal thing, which kind of makes me sad in a way, because I found, well, not my good one, but I found my ugly one. Yay. Because, you know, they are not, being a spiritually open family is not a quote unquote normal thing in our society. What's normal is, you know, taking all kinds of prescription drugs and going to church on Sunday and pretending like you're a good person the rest of the week, and kind of sad. But I think that's changing more and more. And I really think that people are more open now. And so hopefully that trend continues. Anyways, I missed some people. Hi, guys. Hi, Storm. Hi, Shauna. I don't know if I said hello. Hi, Sherry Bug. Hi, Marsha. My son went for a weekend and did that at the end of his shaman course. That would be awesome. How cool. Completely. I think it's a beautiful thing. There's a big difference between that relationship and one of substance abuse. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Because I have had that too. Not with him, but with my other son. So, and that's a hard thing. People are drug and substance abuse, like alcohol, yeah, which is different from mindful spirituality. I know, right? Exactly. And let me tell you, alcohol is like one of the worst drugs for your body, for your mind, for everything. But that's all accepted. So seems a little ridiculous. Hi, Dana, my sweet. I have interesting talks with my 26-year about edible alternatives to sleep meds. Absolutely. For sure. For sure, for sure. Hi, Witch of Willow Creek. Hi, Thomas. I was going to message you, and then I ran out of time. We were going to talk to you about, I'll message you because I don't want to put you on the spot, but we wanted to talk to you about maybe coming on for a session about Norse stuff if you were comfortable. But I know, I know you had been talking about doing a channel and stuff. I don't want to like push you into it or anything, but we were talking about it, and we would love to have you on to talk about Norse stuff if it's something you'd be interested in. I think that would be great because we're going to be talking about several different pantheons and that kind of thing. And I want to have some people who, have followed that pantheon for a while and can talk about it more than I would be able to, in my limited experience with certain things. So hi, Sarana. Hi, Cass. I'm doing homework tonight. Yay! I know. I've been busy too. Believe me, I'm still, you guys, by the way, I haven't printed out this past week's homework. I'm still working my way through the first homework because I was sick and stuff. But I'm getting there. And then I figured I would catch up this weekend, but Saturday is the Crystal Show. So you guys will have to bear with me. I'm catching up. You guys have done really well what I have looked at. And really, it's for you. The homework is for you. I want you to know that. I want to look over all of them, which is why I will continue to do so. I'm not going to not do it. But the homework is for you to explore your path and really get you to think about some stuff and that kind of stuff. So alcohol can be real trouble. Yeah, I know it's horrible. But, pot is, no, not pot or whatever. All right. Hi, everyone else that I missed. Sorry, it's skipping a little bit on me. Cassie, look, I just did the homework. Yeah, I know, right? It's all right. It is her. That's Crystal Cass. That's right. How am I feeling tonight? I am a little bit better. I'm still, stuff that I'm like, God damn, will this ever go away? I still, I was thinking this morning, probably 3-4 times today, I have blown my nose and gotten blood clots. And I thought, Jesus Christ, it probably was a sinus infection. I probably should have gone to the doctor. But, when you're working, so at least I know my body fought it and now it's going away. It's just gross until then. Not sure my internet can hold up for a live stream. Cool. Okay. We'll talk about it, Thomas. No problem. Cassie and Mama Squirrel turned my whole bad day all around. Dana, we just would do whatever we could. And like I said before, keep in mind that for us, it's a good way to feel like we have done something. So like when everybody chipped in money for your CBD stuff, that it gives us a feeling like we have been able to contribute in some way to, something that's important. It's a good thing. All right. I've been so busy. I missed so much. That's okay. The shelf behind me reminds me of Sarah's in the labyrinth with her bears, right? It does. Oh, that's true. This is my ancestor altar, or most of it. But yes, it does. And I really need to cleanse it and feed it again, but 15 degrees, 50 this week. Ooh, I know. We had snow and then 46 yesterday. I don't know. Who knows? New York is a weird place too. You do too much, but I just can't tell you. I'm so glad, honey. And that means the world to me that we have been able to, at least make you feel like you're not alone in the whole thing, if nothing else. Sinus is through the roof. I just had surgery today. That's okay. Don't worry. That's it, Storm. You had surgery and my homework didn't take priority. Damn it. Forget it. That's it. You're not allowed to be a pagan. It's okay. I totally didn't mean to do that. That's what mindless eating is. I meant to put that over here. So it wasn't in my way. So bad. That's so goofy. Okay. Whoever said you're having trouble getting the files for homework, my guess is it's because Windows and Google are competitors, so they don't like to allow each other stuff. So my guess is you're downloading it through Windows. If you open it through Google Chrome, you'll have an easier time. Try that. Okay. Bob packaged the box the day of my dad's oncology appointment. Really? Aw. Wow. Kristen, for those of you who wanted to take the self-dedication initiation course, there is like homework and worksheets and stuff that you can follow along with them. If you're just watching the videos, you can just watch the videos too. But if you want to take the actual course part of it, there's other stuff that goes along with it. And that is in the Facebook group under events, or you can email Pat at patstarot@gmail.com and let him know that you would like to take the course through the email, and he will email that stuff to you. And Dragon Wings, same thing. So hopefully, yep. And there, Pat just posted that. Awesome. There's actually an event planned near me on Ostara. Yay. That's awesome. I was going to go down an old holy healing well, do something at night where I put a binder paper on it and collect. Ooh, that sounds really cool too. Yes, and Pat can answer questions for sure. You can't find the files at all. Okay, are you in our Facebook group? Because if so, are you on our, probably not under Lady Blind Wolf, right? Are you in our Facebook group under something else? Because then I'll just tag you in it when we're done here. It's in the event, directly in the event. Is the Green Witches Tarot a Celtic tarot? I would say it has Celtic leanings, but it's not specifically Celtic. All right, hold on, Lady Blind Wolf. I'm going to go just tag you in it right now. And you want the homework or the files, honey? Under my real name. Okay, I don't know what your real name is. I'm sorry. I know I should. Both? Okay. In order to tag you, I got to know your name. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm starting kind of slow, guys. I'm just getting stuff together. You can put it in chat. Okay. All right. If you put it in chat, then when we're done, I'll tag you in it. And because it's right on the event page. And so I can do that. And I would suggest opening it up with Google Chrome if you have it, because it makes it a little bit easier. Windows is kind of goofy sometimes. Okay. So does anybody have any questions, first of all, about the homework, about the initiation, self-dedication as a whole, about any of the stuff that you read in the files that were given, or about anything like a beginner path related that I can answer for you to start out with? And I did not see, I just want to make sure. I didn't see Catherine Saldana isn't in here, right? Did I not see her? And I'm sorry, you guys, if I'm missing questions. If you have a question, try to put it in caps for me. That helps me to single it out, because sometimes chat rolls so fast. We have so many in chat that it's hard to keep up because it jumps on me. You're loving all this? Good. I'm so glad that you guys are getting stuff out of it. I appreciate that you're getting stuff out of it and it's helping you on your journey, which is exactly what this is for. Ravenheart says, you really have me thinking on this homework. Good. That is exactly what the homework is for. Like I said, this homework really is for you to kind of question your journey and think about where you're at and think about where you want to go. So far, so good. Just started reading Witchcrafting today. Got another book about finding spiritual healing through relationships with trees. Awesome. Love trees. Plot twist questions first. I like it. We never have questions until you're talking about things. I know, right? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. When I did the first homework, I realized no one had ever asked me before what I wanted to participate in or believe spiritually. Right? And that is, again, that's like the main difference between what we're asking and what we are seeking, and like the organized religions of today, is that they tell you what to believe and how to practice. And this is completely the opposite. We are telling you, we want you to feel out what to believe and how to practice and what connects with you and how it connects. So, yay, I'm so glad. Ogham runes. Yes, absolutely, Thomas. I know. I've had my eye on a set of Ogham runes since I became a Sister of Avalon. Which was like 3-4 years ago now, something like that, because they do a lot of work with that too. So but of course, it's funny. I am picky about some stuff. I want a set of Ogham runes that then are each different wood. Like some people make them with like all maple sticks or something, and that's awesome. And that's good enough. It really is good enough. But I have something in my head that I want them to be all different ones, and are all the correct ones. And so they are a little more expensive because it's hard to get. You're not going to be able to find all of those trees in one single area usually. So it's hard to collect all that for the runes. And so I have not had the money. Like, you have to do both. Oh, Leah Lynn's here. You have to do both. Hi. You have to have the money and see it come up at the same time. So, and I haven't had that happen yet. Hi, Leah Lynn. How are you? She's done with the gym. Our little gym monster. She's been out like a mad woman.
Yes, I have. Yes.
All right. I'm just going through some of the questions here and seeing what we have. Trying hard to get this homework done. Great. That's good. And I want you to I want you to explore that. And it's really, I would rather you explore it and take the time you need to explore it than answer it real quick and turn it in so you turned it in. Because it's really more for you than it is for me. I will be reading all of them. I'm not saying I'm not, but the questions are really more for you and how your journey is going. I think
but also even in school, that was kind of the thing is I would rather you turn the paper in late and have learned the answers to the questions than turn it on time and get a 0.
Yeah, I have no idea what the hell you were talking about. But yes. Lady Blind Whip. I was so into class last week. I missed popcorn party. I was supposed to do a live. Whoops. Sorry. I think my farming practice will become much more involved as I grow through the spiritual That is awesome. And I can totally see that little bee. I'll tell you, I'm definitely not a farmer or anything. I can barely keep my herbs going, but my herbal practice, like, it means a lot more to me because I am putting the intentions into the herbs that when I'm growing them, which is good. However, I don't get out there as much as I should. So, I know, like, my husband will be like, I'm pretty sure that your herbs are starting to dry out. And I'm going out there. I'm coming. There we go.
No, I am not a garden witch, not a green witch. No, I can't keep a plant alive to save my life.
I know. Well, part of my problem is my cats. My cats are evil. And they will destroy everything. And actually, I don't have one cat, so it's really not my cats. It's all of my children's cats. But they all will eat anything alive in the house. So it's like impossible to keep anything going. Forget it. Ben says, my issue is the ritual. I don't do rituals, so I've got some thinking to do about how I would honor the Sabbath. That's good, Ben. I like that because you're right. You don't have to do a ritual. That's not part of your practice. So how are you going to honor it? I like that. Ooh, that's a good example of how you're going to do it for you. That's really good. You have Ogham staves. Do you have them? Okay, now I have to ask. Do you have them all in the correct wood, Ben? Or do you have like a set of oak staves? And I called them sticks, didn't I? Thank you for correcting me. Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Mama Squirrels. Jordan, thank you for helping my mommy. Jordan, you are so welcome. I adore your mommy, and so do all of us here. And I'm so glad that you're there to help her. I know that you are a big part of her life, and she says all the time what a savior you are all the time, poor thing. So I'm glad she has you. Not heard of the Sisters of Avalon? Really? They're a huge organization that specifically follows the Avalonian path. And they're very, very into teaching and stuff. Oh, Pat's on.
Ooh.
Hey, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. So, if you're interested in that, you can look up. They're on Facebook. They have like their own system, which is very confusing at first. And I have not kept up with the Sisters of Avalon a lot in the last year, probably since my channel went a little bit bigger, because they're very labor intensive and they want to do a lot of work with you, which is great though when you're learning, because oh my gosh, I learned so much from them. So you'll bring mine out Saturday. Yes, good, Ben. I want to see it. I know, I'm so excited. Ben and Bob are both going to be there on Saturday when we do the crystal thing, which is awesome because I haven't seen them in months now. Because I was supposed to go out with them before, and then they were supposed to come, and then it was a snowstorm, and then it was the baby was coming, and it just hasn't happened. I must stop and consider
running so I can send out an email real quick to the email list so they all know and get chat up there and all of that.
Perfect. I'm so glad you're here. They're not going on. I was like, it's not for me. And I went back and actually thought about each question. Thank you, Bob. Good. All right. And my chat just skipped again, guys. So Caps, for questions if you have questions, because I am gonna end up skipping around. Yay! All right. Did I miss it? Did Ben answer my question? All correct staves. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. I'm dropping stuff. Okay. So no questions about stuff that we've talked about. That's good. That means you're all experts now. Or at least it means that you're on the same page, which is good because that's very important.
Yes. We like when they're keeping up.
I know it. How about why don't we go through? I kind of wanted to go through the homework myself, and you guys don't have to do this, you two, if you don't want to, but I thought I would answer my own questions because I know people are probably curious about what our answers are. All right, I got my damn glasses out. What did I do with them? They're not on my head right now. What the hell? I'm so lost here.
M.A. Scott has a question. So between Sabbats and moons, this is a lot to keep up with. Is this more pronounced for newbies?
So here's the thing. And you will figure out what's most important in your practice the more you practice. I will tell you that I probably actually celebrate 3 or 4 moons a year. I don't take the time to really. Now, I will throw some crystals out on the full moon if I get a chance. I will, if I'm running out of moon water, I will throw a thing of moon water out to charge, all that kind of stuff. But I am not one, except in the summertime. Now, I'll tell you, in the summertime when it's nice out, I will get outside and do stuff and celebrate the moons. I try to, once a year, I try to do a drawing down of the moon ritual because I'd like to kind of refresh that. But I am not one that is a big, I don't keep the aspects as much as some people. You guys?
And I would answer the same way, where I don't really celebrate the aspects or the moon cycles as much as I do the solar festivals. However, you will find that balance in your practice.
For sure.
Could my camera please behave?
No, it cannot. Pat, how about you, honey?
Sorry, I was typing. What?
The question was, between Sabbats and moons, this is a lot to keep up with. Is this more pronounced? So my answer was, when you start to really get into your practice, you kind of figure out what things you want to celebrate. For me, I'm not a big aspect celebrator, so I probably don't celebrate the moons as much as some people do. So you just kind of, get into a groove. That's what I forgot to bring up. And so what's your answer? I'm going to go grab a book really quick.
Honestly, I'm about the same way. We do sometimes do moon rituals and celebrate the moon, but more often than not, we spend more time working on the Sabbats. I know I work, I try at least every couple of months to do something on the full moon with my altar for Uthen and Freya because they are full moon, which of course, back in the old Norse days, what we call the full moon was what they called the new moon. Mm-hmm. So we have to kind of learn to that, and a lot of people that don't notice will think, oh, well, then I do it on what we call the new moon, but it's actually what we would call the full moon.
Yes, and I try once a month to do something with the full moon. But usually it's only the full moon and forget the rest of the cycle.
Okay, so what that also, and now, oh my goodness. Oh, here they are. I'm like, I just found my glasses and then I lost them again. Okay. Now there's another question. I don't want to lose it, but actually, let's read the other question first. I cannot remember the last question. Can't find it right now, but I know I had trouble with it. The last question of the most current homework. Is that what you're talking about, Marcia? I would assume. I haven't printed out most of the most homework. Hold on. 1 second.
Hell, you'd think I'd be more in touch with the moon, considering I work with Hecate, who's usually associated with the moon phases and the night time. No.
Right? I know, me too. That's so true. And I don't as much as you would think either. Isn't that funny? That's not the aspect of her that I connect with, must be.
Mm-mm.
All right, I could have sworn I printed that out. At least one copy of it. Where is that? I'm so organized usually. Sorry, okay. All right. Well, I have it here. I just have to pull it up then. So the other thing I'm going to tell you, and I have the book here to remind me someplace, which now I've set it down. Unbelievable. Oh, right here. Right here. It's to my left. So when I say I'm going to get to it, it's right here. Is more important. Now we went through the wheel of the year. The next thing that we're going to go through is more important than the sabbats and the aspects and everything is how to incorporate all that into your everyday practice. And that's why one of those questions talked about that. Okay, now let me find the last question here so I can answer your question. Wait, was there a question that had to do with that? Oh, you didn't understand it or something, right? Or you had a hard time with it?
Yeah, I was having trouble with it.
Okie dokie. Hang on. It's coming up. I swear I printed at least 2 of these off, but yep. No idea. All right, here we go. It is Ostara being the next Sabbath on the actual wheel of the year. Investigate some simple rituals. Hold on, it's still loading, must be. Investigate some. Come on, load for me, please. Some simple rituals, practices, or celebrations for Ostara. And write down your own for how you would imagine your perfect Ostara Sabbath to be. Make it as elaborate or as simple as you choose, but help me see your vision and why you chose what you did. You are welcome to use my Pinterest boards, the internet, books, whatever outside sources you'd like to help. Okay. So the question is, I know I had trouble with it. That's a hard question to answer because I know you had trouble with it. I'm sorry you had trouble with it. What about it did you have trouble with? It's really asking you to tell me what you want to do for Ostara. Do some investigation on what Ostara means and pick some of the things that you want Ostara to mean for you and that you want to celebrate Ostara about, and tell me about that. What do you plan to do? I celebrate. Nope, totally lost it. It jumped. Damn it, man. All right. If I missed questions, I'm sorry. Could we use a different Sabbath instead? If you are not planning on celebrating Ostara, you absolutely could use a different one. But if you use a different one because you like a different one better, that's a cop-out. If you're not planning on celebrating Ostara because you don't connect at all to anything that you feel like Ostara says for you, it doesn't really, you're not really connecting with that, then that's okay. But if you want to do a different one because Samhain is way easier,
Mm-mm.
What else? Did you guys see any other questions? Did I miss some? What is the
Shauna
most important
asked. Go ahead.
thing? What is the most important thing you always do during your full moon? You guys start since I've been chatting my butt off.
Let's see here. Full moon is usually he gathered moon water. That's about it.
There you go, Pat.
I mostly, I mean, we always do collect moon water. We've got what, 4 big jars?
No, Rena never brought my
Oh.
dog back.
Okay, so we've got like 3 big jars that we put out for moon water every month. Every full moon gets that, because one of the jars Shauna actually uses, she takes a full moon bath a few days later.
Perfect.
And of course, we put all of our crystals out to charge under the moon. And we try to do rituals every full moon.
Yeah.
We miss a few here and there because of work and everything else, but
See, I refill this at the full moon and put it on my altar so I can use it in spells.
yep, we've actually got 3 or 4 of those also. We might start using for some moon water also, but I mean, we've got like, the big, huge pickle jars. We've got like 3 of those.
Hmm.
What?
The pickle jars we put out for moon water. The big jars.
Okay. So that's a good lead into how do you use that then? Because that comes along with, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to celebrate a holiday, it's because it means something to you. And when you are, because one of the things I remember as a beginner, getting this, I got, the old water jugs that were glass. I can't remember what they're called now.
Those were great jugs.
Yeah. I remember getting that and filling it with distilled water, because I had read, and actually distilled water, I use a lot of distilled water still. And putting it out for the full moon, and I got a great full moon water, and then I was like, great. Now I have all this water. Now,
So-
what do I do with this?
So Ben has a good question. He wants to know, do you all use just full moon water or new and full moon water?
Personally, just full moon water. And to answer Mama this question, and I use this to sprinkle when I want to cleanse something, or when I want to add it as a protection around the opening, like the window or the door to the room.
Perfect. Perfect.
We usually
And-
mostly just do full ourselves also. Full
That's
moon water.
good.
Occasionally, I've been known to actually drink the full moon water because I don't put anything else but water in it.
That's another thing Shauna does, is one of the jugs she uses, she collects to make her tea with.
Perfect. Yep, absolutely. I do that too. I also make moon water or new moon water. I use new moon water much less than I do full moon water because it's only for specific things for me. New moon water is I keep it for if I ever do new baby stuff, like I'm gonna dedicate a new baby or welcome them in. I use it for hand fastings. I use it for what else? I have very specific things that I use new moon water for. Where full moon water, because it's that fullness of the energy, I use for almost everything.
Yeah. Dragon Wings wants to know if there are any Sabbats that represent new beginnings.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you look at the files? But she hasn't done it yet. She's just started. Yes, as a matter of fact, Ostara is the next holiday, and that very much represents new beginnings. It's the first fertility holiday. It's the first fertility Sabbath, and it's all about new beginnings. And as spring is coming, new things are coming into the world. And so absolutely, there's a lot of the Sabbats have to do with new beginnings for sure.
Yes, I was about to say, it's not just Ostara.
What's that?
Especially this time of year, because this is the time when everyone starts planting, and that is a new beginning.
I wish I could start planting. That's not till like May for me. Okay.
Well, that's just because you're up in New York. If you were over here in Oregon, you could.
If you were down here in Georgia, you could.
Yeah.
I know. Fine.
Dylan, yes, Shauna does take full moon baths. He was asking if any of us take full moon baths.
I do my full moon bath though during the new moon.
Yeah, Shauna does her full moon bath on the new moon.
Cool. Tell us why you do that, sweetie.
Babe, they want you to come and say why.
I'm eating.
She's eating. She'll join us in a few.
Okay.
Donna says I use it for painting, baths, plant cleaning, both full and new moon water. See, perfect. And that again, that comes back into the Sabbats and stuff are awesome. And I love to celebrate the Sabbats. But it really comes down to your day-to-day life. How are you going to incorporate all of this into your day-to-day life? What does this mean to you on a Tuesday when you go to work and you really don't feel like being there? And how can you pull your spiritual life from here and make it do something, make it work for you into your regular everyday life? And that's partly why we kind of start with the basic wheel, is because that wheel of the year should sustain you all year. There's things in that wheel of the year, the cycles that go around, that you can pull into your daily life when things are not going great, when you're kind of like stuck, when you're, we all go through cycles where we're like, you know what? I haven't pulled a tarot card in 3 months. There are times in life that happens to all of us. And so how do we use what we've learned from the basic wheel of the year, which is the foundation to me of our belief system, and how do we pull that in and use it every day? So that's the question.
Yeah. Ravenheart wants to know, what are some good examples that you guys would suggest to use full moon water? I have some, but I don't really know what to do with it.
See? Perfect. So, do you guys want to go first? I try not to overtalk you guys and take up all of the time.
Actually, I do really like what Cass just said. She said use full moon water with Cascarilla to make chalk for drawing sigils. That's a great
You can use full moon water for anything you would use water for in a ritual as well, or a spell. So if you have a spell that requires a bowl of water or that you drink water, you can use your full moon water for that.
You're shut up.
All holy and everything. So
please, would you stop it, girl? You know better. I will get you back, girl. You are beautiful and you know it.
So when I make my full moon water, and the reason why I have so many jars is because each thing I have a specific use for when I make that full moon water. Sometimes I'll make my full moon water with a crystal in it, with salt in it, without the salt in it, depending on what I'm going to use that moon water for. The full moon water that I only put the crystal into charge in it, that's what I'm going to use for internal, to make my tea with and stuff like that. So of course you don't want to have salt in that water unless you like salty sweet tea. So the reason why I charge my water for my new moon bath, the new cycle, my deity is Goddess Inanna. She is the dark moon, and there is a self-love ritual that you can do with her as well. So the reason I do it, wait for the new moon, this is after the dark moon, It's a good time to just release. It's a new beginning, it's a new start, and you can use that full moon's energy in your new moon bath to get that energy flow going for that new start, that new beginning, that new cycle, and utilize that energy that you made, that you created, and start all over for the next cycle.
Perfect. Love it. Absolutely. Yes. And Sarana said, and I was going to say this too, water can be used for offerings for deities. I have a lot of my deity altars have little shot glasses in there. And so I fill them up at least a couple times a month. I also use mine in my healing stuff when I'm doing Reiki stuff. My moon water, I have one regular moon water. And then like you were showing, I wish I could do this downstairs because a lot of my stuff is still downstairs, but my damn husband thinks he owns part of this house too or something. So he's downstairs. But I have like the bottle that you have, Leolyn. I have probably the same bottle because I think they come from Dollar Tree or something.
Yep.
But I have the red one for me is fire energy water. So I will put a couple of crystal chips at the bottom of that because I don't put anything in my waters except for crystal chips. So I put like a fire crystal chip at the bottom of it. So when I want fire energy healing, I can anoint something with fire energy healing. I have a yellow one for air energy. I put yellow or air crystal chips in there. I have a blue one for water. I have a green one for earth. So I use elemental water, moon waters for healing purposes specifically. And regular moon water I use for cleansing crystals. For cleansing, your area.
No, I would warn you about cleansing crystals with water. Make sure your crystals aren't going to break down in water before you do that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. As my what was it? I'm trying to remember when I first started out. It was that's right.
Sure.
I would never want water on my selenite.
I've had this discussion now. Yes, it's true that selenite can break down over time.
Yes.
But it takes a long time. It takes a lot longer than people think to break it down. And how do I know that? Because I have used exactly the same selenite stick in every single oil for probably 4 years. I just transfer it because I use selenite oil for cleansing and anointing stuff. And I use the same stick. I have never changed the selenite stick because it's never broken down. It might be a tiny bit thinner than it used to be, but I never notice a change after years. Now, I'm not saying go dunk your selenite, people. I'm not saying that, but if you want to cleanse it and like you get a semi-wet cloth, damp, it's not going to hurt it.
Or like I said, where I sprinkle water, it's probably not going to hurt it. I still don't do it.
Not. It's not. I know everybody flips out about it, but it's not like it suddenly goes, I'm melting.
But Mama, just remember something you can tell Peter when he acts like he owns part of this place. Happy wife, happy life.
Right. Get your patootie upstairs once in a while. Well, it's funny this week, especially because usually he's at work in the evenings, like 3 or 4 evenings a week. This week he doesn't start until Friday. He works Friday and Saturday this week, and that's it. And I'm like, that's it.
That's
Friday
it.
and Saturday. And Saturday, I'm not even going to be home for my video. That's not fair.
Oh. Sarana points out that if you are a Christian or coming out of Christianity, you probably already celebrate a version of Ostara already. It's called Easter.
Exactly. Ben Odin prefers either whiskey or mead. Yep, that's true. And that's true. Sekhmet, as a matter of fact, Sekhmet is one that I do not feed moon water to. Sekhmet gets beer.
Thor is one I don't give water to. I give him beer or whiskey.
Yep. Sekhmet is a beer girl. That is what calmed her down after she went into her rage. They put something in beer that made it red, and she thought it was blood. So she thought she was drinking blood, and it made her drunk, and she fell asleep. So they finally calmed her down enough to stop killing people when she went on her rage.
So Dylan had a really good thing that he said. He says, I have a seashell with dolphins dish that is specifically for Poseidon. And I put sea salt water. All I did was add sea salt to the water because I'm landlocked in it for offerings for him. That was a great.
Yes!
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. For sure. I use my witch's salt to charge and cleanse my crystals. Perfect. You got gifted a selenite stone from TNG. I miss TNG.
She's back, not doing videos. She's commented on a couple of my dailies. So.
Has she? Oh, good. I'm glad. I miss her.
Right?
I do.
I don't know if we can get her to come back full on.
I know, right? Weren't the selenites also the ant people at the center of the earth in H.G. Wells' story? Yeah, yes, I think it was selenites.
I think that was their name.
I think you're right. Selenite won't break down in water, just rinsing. Yes, it won't. If you soak it, yeah, and even if you soak it, I'm telling you, Cass, you've seen my selenite oil. It is the same stick in there. It has been for 5 years, the same one. Now, it might be a little, because it's oil, it's a little bit harder for it to break it down, but it's not that bad. All right. Anything else for that? Now, so this is the book that I have pulled out. Wait, whoops. Where am I? I do recommend Deborah Blake is a good one for telling you stuff to do every day. She's got a couple different series of this book, like every day something else too. Calendar or something. She's got a couple different books about it. And I do think this is a good book because it just gives you some ideas for, that Monday morning you're feeling bad and how do you then incorporate stuff. And we've talked about this before, at least in one video, but simple little ideas that just can make you aware of your spirituality all throughout your day. So like when you're putting your milk in your coffee and you're stirring your coffee, put a sigil in your coffee.
Or even simply be paying attention to which direction you're stirring your coffee, whether it's toward you or away from you, and deciding whether you're pulling energy in or pushing tiredness out.
Exactly. Pat had talked about in the last live, I think, about his shower and how, and I do that too, how you stand in the shower and you're thinking about releasing everything that you don't need anymore and picturing Mother Gaia refreshing everything that you do need. There's just
is because of course we do tires and stuff, and I always visualize when I'm putting the tires back on. Most of them are 5-point lugs, and I make the star as I'm doing it.
Perfect. See, little silly stuff that pulls in. Now, I always think of people talk about like when it's 11:11 and 2:22 and all that stuff. And I'll tell you, I don't pay attention to the, like some of them supposed to be the archangel, something or other is calling out to you or something. To me, that is, if I catch an 11:11, it's because the universe is saying, hey, wake up, just so you know, you're spiritually aware and life is great. It's just my reminder to say, hey, look, you know what? I just noticed a synchronicity and there's awesome things in life. Just little things. I was talking today. I'll have an example as a synchronicity today. it's about noticing things through different eyes, noticing things that are regular in your life and saying, you know what, that's not just a coincidence. That's not just a, hey, how did that happen? Now that's cool thing. I have probably for the last, I don't know, I think 2 or 3 months now, I've been on, now I'm totally blanking. I hate my squirrel brain. Hang on. I cannot believe I'm blanking.
It happens, Mama.
You give it a minute, it'll come back.
So annoying. Van Morrison, thank you. I've been on a Van Morrison kick lately. And like, I don't know what it is, but I made a new channel on my Pandora at work. I've been listening to a lot of Van Morrison. And Peter and I were watching something today. Oh, we're watching it's with Peter Gallagher. It's the new show where she starts singing. Zoe's Playlist or something like that. And there was a big deal about a Van Morrison song. And Peter was like, Van Morrison sing that? Didn't somebody else write that? And I'm like, no. So then we started talking about Van Morrison. And I'm like, it's so weird to me that like Van Morrison is an older, he hasn't been around, you know, big since the 60s, 70s. And to have like Van Morrison portrayed in a brand new show is quite an odd thing to happen when that is specifically who I have been listening to lately as a spiritual meditation kind of thing. And I said, isn't the universe funny when it just brings up synchronicities? So it says to me, that's a, hey, wake up. Spiritually, you're aware and the universe sees you. And you are doing things the right way because, and the universe wants you to know that you're on the right track. And that's just little everyday things to keep aware of and open your eyes to in a different light.
So Donna has a question. How often do you meditate?
Do you guys want to answer first or do you want me to go?
We're going to say not often enough.
Yes, I know, right? What a
Not
Buddhist
often
say.
enough.
If you say you don't have the time, meditate for at least 10 minutes a day. And if you don't have the time to meditate for 10 minutes, then meditate for 20.
Yep.
Yep.
And I don't meditate enough.
Ooh, Linda has a good one that'll keep us able to do a little bit more of good explaining. She wants to know, do all of you follow deities?
Yes.
All three of us do.
We do, yes.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Not everyone does, but all three of us do. And I have like a few main deities that I follow. And then for me, I have a lot of deities that I work with for specific things.
But also, I spent years not following any deities. Like just
Yeah.
putting deity way over there in the corner. We're not talking right now. I'm over here doing my witch thing, and you guys can sit in the corner. I don't want to talk to you.
And that is okay.
I have been on this path since 1996. And it's only been in the last about year or so that I started actually looking into, in the last 6 months, actively working with deities.
I have been he started actively practicing witchcraft and witchcraft, not paganism yet, just witchcraft, 15 years ago. And I started practicing Wicca 10 years ago. I only started working with deities maybe 2 years ago.
It's definitely, it's a different kind of practice.
Here's a good one. Dylan wants to know, what is the difference between following, working with, and devoting to a deity?
That is a good question.
So, like I say, I follow Hecate and Thor because I feel like I learn from them. When I do meditate, I tend to find myself in a sort of conversation with them. Those two in particular. They tend to send me little synchronicities that I will notice that are specifically their hallmarks. Versus I say I work with other deities because I don't tend to get those little messages. I don't tend to interact with them in meditation the same way, but I tend to actively seek out their lessons that come from their mythology, therefore work with. But devoting to, that's something I reserve very specifically for Hecate and Thor, because they are the main ones I work with, in ones that I follow, even though I follow other ones.
True. Pat, do you want to answer before me?
Really, I work with and follow Uthin and Froya. I say that because I do incorporate them into my altar. I incorporate them into my workings, but I also follow because I am learning from them at the same time. So,
Absolutely.
or actually, where was it? Oh, my chat jumped on me. But as for devoting to, I have not devoted to any deities fully yet. I have the two that I work with and learn from, so I follow.
All right, I'm going to answer the question, but first I'm going to point out Dana's question so I can answer it really quickly so I can laugh at it because I love you, Dana. If you're meditating and say a child busts in the room and saying they trusted a fart and shouldn't have, can you save the session when interrupted or do you try again later? Dana, try again later, CP. If you're anything like me, which you are because I know you, yeah, good luck. Really, I'll tell you, when my kids were little, my best meditation time was in the bathtub because I could lock the door, light some candles, and be like, you better figure the kids out. I need a half a damn hour. Leave me alone for a half a damn hour. And that was my best bet for meditation.
Now, for me, because I don't deal with children so much, but when I was younger, I did have to deal with children. The thing is, it depends on the situation. So if they're coming to me saying, I'm hungry, when's dinner? Answer the question and then go back to my meditation.
Yeah.
If they're coming to me saying, my hand is bleeding because I cut myself, okay, stop everything and take care of the child.
Or who hit me? Nuh-uh, they knocked this over. Okay, forget it. It's time to get up and take care of things. For sure. So for me, the questions are, do we work with deities? Yes. So Rhonda said too, as a kind of an aside to that question, when you say working with deities, what do you mean by that? What does it look like? So for me, the differences are, I have, I would say the main deities that I have been devoted to is Hecate. I'm like, wait, where's my thumb?
Where's the camera?
I know it. So lost. Hecate, Maat, Sekhmet, those are the three goddess deities that I I consider myself to be a devotee of, which means they have their altars. I have regular offerings that I am bringing them on a regular basis, weekly, semi-weekly, and they have, there's specific things that I do with them in my daily practices, which are like Hecate gets a lot of my night meditation work is devoted to Hecate. So when I say I devote something to Hecate, I will start a meditation and specifically say, okay, I am working to connect with Hecate tonight. This is what my meditation is about. This is what I expect to do. I want a communication with her tonight to specifically feel out, is there anything that I need to step up my game with her? Does she have anything to communicate with me about tonight? Is there anything that she thinks I'm not quite, getting right, which she will tell you. And the same with the three of those. I have the gods for me are harder because I tend to lump all the gods into the horned god. So I can call the horned god Pan. I can call the horned god Cernunnos. I can call, and to me, it's really the same energy for me. So really there's only one God that I feel I have devoted to, and that is all of the above. It is the horned God entity as a whole. But I do not separate them. But that's just me. Again, that's how I practice. That may not be, you might have a different experience with that.
Right, because I do separate gods out.
See, perfect. And someday I may. Now I may find that at some point Hearn comes to me specifically and is very separate from what I consider a horned god. That could happen. It just hasn't yet. And so the deity that I say that I'm working with, but I'm not a devotee of, there are lots. There are lots that I work with as just someone that I work with. And when I say work with, I know that certain deity has good energy for one thing or another. So for me, Aphrodite is very good energy for me to work with when I'm need to up my game. My marriage is kind of dull, or I feel like I need to, enhance something between my husband and I will call upon Aphrodite to help me with whatever that working is that I'm doing. So if I am doing a spell, if I am creating, I have a love altar in my bedroom, then I want Aphrodite's help. I want to ask her to help me out with that and bring her in to oversee things and let me know if she thinks anything needs to change, or if she has any suggestions, then I will do that. And so each deity to me that I have studied enough to know what they are good at, I know that. And so I will call upon them to help me out with what I know they're good at.
And that's sort of what I meant too. And that's sort of what I do as well, because it's like I have Thor and Hecate, who I am devoted to, who I am a follower of. And then I have, say, Hades, who I will call on specifically because I need structure, because I need someone to make me feel like there's a stable base under me. And I would call that working with Hades, not following Hades.
So Shauna wants to chime in on this one.
Well, come on.
I'm going to try to squeeze in.
Yay!
So working with and devoting, and okay, I haven't fully devoted myself to any specific one, but I have been with Inanna the longest. So if you want to call that devotion, you can call that devotion. I haven't physically, mentally given everything to her, but she is very spoiled here. Very spoiled. She speaks her mind and lets me know. So with her, I do work with her specifically, especially when I'm doing any kind of spell work or anything like that. Each deity has a specific quality per se about them, and you can ask them for their assistance with that quality of what you need in your work. So that's what I have Inanna for. Plus, she helps me every day of my life. And in that aspect, I have recently just invited Lord Vishnu and Goddess Lakshmi into our home, and I work with them and they work with me, and I've just started following Ganesh a little bit. I'm kind of like you, Mama, on the God side. I haven't really worked with a God. Lord Vishnu is the first one for me, and I Not sure how I feel about it yet. But with Lakshmi, it has been said if you do not have her husband on the altar with her, she will leave. Because how can you invite her and not have her husband with her? Which
Right.
makes total sense to me. And Ganesh, he is really good for unblocking any obstacles that you might have going on. So specific deities for specific things. You just got to figure it out. And for a long time, I didn't even have a deity just like Pat. It's only been recently within the last 2-3 years. And Anana's, well, Hecate was kind of my first one where she was like, you know, saying hi basically to me. And Anana kept pulling me. She went, no, bitch, you're over here. And I have there Oshun, goddess Oshun, she came to me last year, but she hasn't showed up since, and she was during the spring. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen this spring if Oshun is going to come back. So Oshun is basically the same as goddess Lakshmi, with abundance and love and prosperity and everything like that. So with Oshun, or not Oshun, sorry, with Lakshmi and Lord Vishnu, they are on our family altar because our family altar is our abundance altar. So everybody works with them in the house. So they get a lot of attention over there too. So it's just what you need, what you feel. Do your research. If you feel like there's a deity calling out to you and you don't know who it is, start reading. I didn't even know about Oshun until last year. I'm like, who the hell is Oshun?
Right?
Study.
Don't feel bad if you feel a calling and you don't know where it is. Not everyone is going to work with Uthin. Not everyone is going to work with Hecate. Not everyone is going to work with Thor. Not everyone is going to work with Inanna. You may
Right.
have an obscure one that wants to work with you.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
It's going to be what you need in your life at that time. And then when they're done, they might leave or they might stay. It's up to them.
Absolutely. And I learned that too. When I was being initiated from my friend David in the area, he kept, like, he would say, okay, so who's the deity that you want to work with? And again, because he was Gardnerian, things were very, you have to have a deity. You have to, and I'm like, I don't really know. I'm trying to figure it out. And he's like, well, I think Hecate, which it's funny that later on Hecate did choose to work with me and stuff. But I was like, nope, that's not it. I can't. And I finally figured out it was Maat. And he was like, who the hell is that? You know, because he was like, I'm telling you, I think Hecate wants to work with you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel that. And because, thank goodness, I have to say the one good thing is that I am who I am. And even though he was my mentor and I love him dearly, but thank goodness I was strong enough in my own self to be able to say, no, sorry, that's not the way I'm going. And I could tell he would get frustrated with me sometimes. Like, cause we went to, I know I've talked about the pagan campground before. We went to the pagan campground together, and I have to tell this story. I hope he never watches this, cause he does watch. Sometimes he watches these videos, but when we decided to go, we went for Litha because they celebrate holidays. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had been solitary forever. I had never been to like a gathering of actual pagan people. I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I'm really excited. But I still am in my mindset because I am who I am. I'm like, okay, well, I have things I want to bring, but I'm not going to worry about packing. Like David he brought 2 robes. He brought this pentacle that was this big silver pentacle that he uses for ritual. Cause he's like, well, we're doing a Litha ritual. So, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And he's like, well, are you bringing your robes? I'm like, no, it's Litha. It's like fucking hot. I'm not bringing my goddamn robes. He's like, but we're doing ritual. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not bringing my robes, dude. I'm just not. So he's like, fine. So I have to say, and this is, by the way, this is where I met Margot Adler and everything, was at this ritual. And so we get there, and I kind of felt bad because here he's my mentor. He, taught me a lot of stuff and everything. There was not one robe there. There was, in fact, because it was, it was a clothing optional kind of place. During ritual, like probably half of the people there didn't have any clothes on. And the ones who did were like in cutoff jeans and, a t-shirt. So it was a lesson for me to trust my gut. And, that you have to believe in what you feel. I just wasn't worried about that. And I'd say he was younger than me. He was in his 20s. And that makes a big difference. And there's nothing, I'm not saying if you guys are in your 20s, I'm not saying that, you can't be a great spiritual person. I'm just saying that usually when you're in your 20s, you haven't come into yourself. You don't trust who you are yet. And that will come in time. But most people in their 20s don't really stand up for their own beliefs yet as much as you will later.
So we're starting to get backed up with lots of good questions. So,
Cool. Okay.
Yas wants to know, what are the main differences between being pagan and being Wiccan?
Oh, good question. So
Structure. Lots of structure.
It is.
Yeah, lots of structure. So pagan, this is how, if you come from a Christian background, this is the easiest way to understand it for me anyways. Pagan is the big umbrella. Pagan is like, if you say you're a Christian, you could be a million different kinds of Christian. You could be Methodist, you could be evangelist, you could be Lutheran, you could be Catholic, you could be, so pagan is that Christian umbrella. That's the main thing. It's basically, technically, the definition of pagan is anything that's not Christianity, apparently. But I really talk about like nature-based kind of religions. And then Wiccan is a specific path within the pagan belief system. So it's a very specific usually. But although not every Wiccan is Gardnerian, there's Dianic, there's all kinds of different Wiccans too. But it's a specific.
But there's a parallel for that too, because within Christianity, if you go to Baptist, there's Southern Baptist. There's a different. There's that Baptist and that Baptist and that Baptist and that Baptist and that Baptist. It's so same thing.
Yeah,
and they're all different, and they all have very slightly different beliefs.
Yeah.
You make an umbrella, and then you have Wicca, and then under that you can have like have as many branches as you want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tar Apple says, I'm interested in how you see deities. I know Jen sees them as energies. What about Pat and Leland?
I see them as energy, as part of nature, actually. So to me, nature, the universe, is part of the divine, including myself. And the divine can be in different phases, different parts. So when you talk about pulling on working with a certain deity, I'm talking about working with that energy, that archetype, that idea, that part of reality.
Yeah. And I see everything the same way. And that's how a good portion of people are going to see deities. Miriam wants to know, how do we know when we have a connection with a particular deity?
Oh, good question, because it'll be different for everyone. It's hard to say. What I usually tell people is do your homework, know what they're all about. Have some idea when you're going into this, have some idea of what that deity did in their mythology, what kind of history and background did they have, what did people look to them to do, and then decide what that means to you. And I can't stress this enough. It's all about meditation. And I did want to get back to, because there's, I'll try not to squirrel out too much, but there's so many different forms of meditation, and sitting with your eyes closed is only one of them.
Absolutely.
So meditation can be, somebody said, I ride my bike in nature and look at, yep, absolutely. That's meditation for sure.
When I'm working out, that's meditation.
There you go. Working out is meditation. There's walking meditations. It's really just connecting with spirit. And so that's what you need to do. If you're asking a deity to be into your life, then you're gonna somehow find a way to connect with them. So I know I've had beginners say to me, which is why I try to give some examples. Really, you may find a totally different way to connect than what I'm talking about, but some examples of how people have connected in the past. Create some kind of altar. And when I say altar, I don't mean some elaborate thing to start out with. You don't need like an altar cloth and this and that and that. Just a couple things to maybe bring your focus and attention. If that means a single candle so you can focus on the flame of the candle. If that means a bowl of water, so you can kind of, usually if I have a bowl of water, I try to have a candle or some kind of light too, because you want to be able to have some motion there. And once a bowl of water is done being motion, it's just kind of there. Whether it be a crystal, whether something to bring your focus and attention, and either singing bowls or music or complete silence, if that's something that allows you to get in touch with your spirituality. Depends on you. At that point, you want to open yourself up and say, okay, Hecate, whoever, whatever deity, Hecate, I'm here. I feel like you have been calling to me. You can say this out loud if you want to. You can say it in your head. How you could say it with your spirit. I feel like you've been calling me. I need you to give me something. Give me a feeling of, is this real? Is this something? Do you want me to start following you? Is this something that you feel that I'm ready to reach out to you and you want to mentor me? You want to be a part of my life? And see what happens. So here's the thing. It could be a million different things. And I don't know what is going to happen to you. I can give you a couple of examples of things that have happened. You notice the flicker of light is different. It gets brighter. It gets dimmer. You feel a warmth come over you. You feel a coolness come over you. You feel that connection. You hear in your mind's eye hearing. You hear her answer. You suddenly think of a song that really connects you to your spirituality, that to you means, hell yeah, I think that's what she's saying. You just have to open yourself up to looking at things in a different way. So your connection is going to be different than, whatever I tell you. Anything to add, guys? Sorry, I try not to.
For me, it's literally a gut feeling. I get this feeling deep in my gut. Whether it's a good gut feeling or a bad gut feeling, that's how I know.
And for me, it's been different with every deity. For Thor, it was like he was standing behind me. Like he had his hand on my back, and he had my back. Like he was watching my back. With Hecate, it was like her voice in my head saying, yes, let's go. Come on.
And you may feel, let's say you don't feel anything. Then later on, you feel like you have this dream about some person that you haven't seen in a long time, and it feels really great. And it was so great to see them. That may be your sign. You have to really pay attention. You may feel, now again, I have felt things that have been like, oh, okay, I was totally wrong. You did not want me to connect to you. You have no interest in me whatsoever. And again, how do you know that? For me, it's a feeling. It's oh, yeah, no. Okay. You just shut the door on my face. Gotcha. But it's all going to be, you have to, that's why we are in that stage. That's why we keep talking about put everything in your mouth. Do everything. feel out everything. What feels like it's right for you? Because you need to start learning what that feels like. Because then when we get to this, okay, I want you to try to reach out and connect to your deity. What did that feel like? Did that feel right to you? You need to know what.
And it needs to feel individual to you, not me or Pat or Mama or anybody else. You.
Exactly. Real quickly, I'm going to leave and come right back. I had one of my coworkers just try to call me and it messed up my audio, so I can barely hear all of a sudden. So
Okay.
I'll be back in just a second.
Okay. All right. Other questions. A lot of times, yes, Dana says a lot of times they are reaching out to you and you may not realize it. Be open to all options and take notice of the signs around you. Absolutely.
Yes.
For sure. I've had a feeling of home with Egyptian stuff and smells. Once I finally contacted Aset, it was like coming home to mom, and she was very specific of what she wanted. For sure. Yes. Welcome back.
Because I can tell you who with Bastet, I felt pulled toward Egyptian mythology, Egyptian imagery. He for years before I figured out that it was Bastet, that was trying to get to me.
All right. So I don't know where we are on the questions now because I lost where we were when I reloaded.
Whoops.
Here we go. Al's Perch. How do you involve heritage and culture into your practice? I am a Latina, and I find mainstream pagan literature doesn't always bring looking into our bloodlines to honor them.
Absolutely. So true. And it's funny with Latina culture in specific, there isn't a whole lot of stuff out there. Now, I will tell you again, I wish I was downstairs where my books are. I recently got a great book about Santa Muerta, and is it just called Santa Muerta? And it's about the whole thing. It's not just about her in specific, but it was really good. And I will tell you, keep looking for that connection, and read.
Alexa, stop.
Questions. I'll tell you, we have people in our group that are very connected to that culture and to every different culture. Hexen is a good one to ask that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
He doesn't feel good tonight, or he was going to probably be here too, but he's really good with that. And how do you connect your culture specifically? It depends on your culture, but there's so many different ways. For me, my culture is a mix of Celtic because I'm a lot Irish, like you couldn't tell because I'm like ghost white, and Viking because I'm Danish, and Druid because I'm English. So I have all kinds of eclectic stuff in me already, and I celebrate all of them. And I celebrate stuff that I'm not right now because I think in past lives I was Egyptian. So I do have quite a connection. I have an Egyptian altar for Sekhmet mostly, but I have a big Egyptian altar. So it really is about how you want to connect. And I know it sounds like a cop-out. People ask me questions and I'm like, well, I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel it would make you feel? And they're like, but how?
Honestly, it all comes back to our favorite saying: "If it works for you,
Works for you."
It works.
All right. Yaz asked, "How do you start becoming more comfortable with working with deities and not feeling odd about communicating with the deities if it hasn't been part of your regular practice before?"
Honestly, just do it. Reach out.
Act like you're talking to a friend or a coworker. That's the easiest thing to do. Is just don't. I'll guarantee you right now, there are not very many deities out there that want the "I am not worthy. I am not worthy."
Yeah, don't be fake. Yeah, that's a good warning. Don't be fake. Be yourself. However you feel is correct when you're reaching out. I would not, dress up and put a lot of makeup on and try to pretend that I'm a skinny girl when I go to see my deity. because they'll be like, who the fuck do you think you are? That's not you.
That's not you.
Be yourself with deity. Don't try to be someone different because they already see you for you. And just keep trying. I know it seems odd at first. It feels like you're talking to yourself. When you go to stuff like mediumship classes, I remember my first mediumship class and thinking, am I pulling shit out of my ass? What the hell am I saying? And really at first you're like, am I just making shit up? How do I feel like I know what the hell this person's past was or something? But you begin to feel more confident in it the more you do it. It's like a muscle. You're practicing it. So the more you do it, the more you're working that muscle out and the better you will get with it. And so you just keep doing it. Write a journal to your deity. That's something that not a lot of people do. But in the very beginning, when I first interacted with Matt, I had a journal to her because I didn't feel really comfortable with that part of it, with communicating. So I would write stuff and wait and feel like I heard an answer in my mind's eye. I heard an answer. And then I would write again. And then literally, and I'm not kidding you, eventually she was like, I know the fucking question. Stop writing. And I'm like, oh, you got it. Okay. Gotcha. Good. We're there.
And then me coming from a Christian background, trust me, I come from the background of like, your God wants you to be, I am not worthy. I am not worthy. Right now, my deities know damn well. Well, if they asked me for that, I'd walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've actually almost caught up completely with the chat on questions. But Rhonda, I'm believing this is going back to the how do you connect and talk to your deities, asked, do you have to speak out loud? Does it help? Personally, it's a personal preference. I tend to speak quietly. So,
I
not necessarily
tend to speak out loud.
conspiratorially, but I'm not talking like I'm talking to a friend in the room. I'm talking quietly to this person.
That's funny. I kind of do that too. But it depends on the deity for me. Mayat is one I don't speak out loud at all. I think maybe, I don't know, maybe because our connection has been the longest that I just think and she knows. And then I hear the answer back. Most other deities, I will speak kind of under my breath. And I do the same thing with healing work. I am, when I'm connecting to Reiki, I know a lot of Reiki practitioners do not speak the words out loud, and I do. Although it's not very loud, but I will under my breath. I am.
Yeah.
Versus I tend to speak out loud if I'm going to speak at all. Now, the other thing is the way I think, I hear my own voice speaking in my head anyway when I'm thinking. So it's essentially talking anyway.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Rachel wants to know, how do you know which deities are taking you in under their wing? I can never tell even when I research them. That's a really good one.
Yeah, it is. So that is when you start to look at outer signs. So what you're looking for is, I'll tell you, a big one with deity is animals. Have you noticed animals suddenly? Like, oh my God, all of a sudden I've noticed 8 million chipmunks around me, or ravens,
Owl.
or owls, or, dogs, or wolves, or whatever. All of a sudden, many, 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 many times, the first sign I've gotten of a deity is an animal that all of a sudden is around that I don't normally see a lot. And I'm like, wow, is there a lot of this whatever around?
And it doesn't have to be alive, by the way, in your yard. It can be figurines or on clothing as
Dreams.
well.
Can come to you in dreams. Like all of a sudden you have dreams of bears or like I have animals are a big way for me that I'm like, oh shit, something new's coming in.
Yep.
That's a good one. What else? And just like, again, it's about noticing things through different eyes. So all of a sudden you have to look around for the synchronicities that you haven't been noticing before. What
So
is
again,
around?
the one who uses pop culture all the time in my practice is the number of times that I've had, he had Thor, literally Marvel Thor, pop up in front of my face and feel like it was grabbing my attention for no reason whatsoever in a situation where there should not be a Marvel reference. There's a Marvel reference and it's Thor.
Yep.
Or they will use what speaks to you. To me, pop culture speaks to me. So I get pop culture references.
Absolutely.
So, let's see. Where was it? Oh, went too far. Jackie wants to know, what would you put on the altar for Bridget?
Did it work? I forgot I could do this. Sorry. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
That makes life a lot easier.
I know. I totally forgot until I was like, show, what does that mean? Oh yeah, I can do this. Sorry. So Bridget is she's the goddess of smithworking. She's the goddess of yep. Hold on, she's not one of mine, so I got to remember because we just went through her a whole lot for Imulk. Smithworking. Shit.
I don't remember because she's not one of mine.
Earth Smithworking. She has a lot of fire references, first of all, so I would definitely have some fire something there. Smithworking. Watch my Imulk video.
Go watch her Imulk video.
Yes, definitely fire. What's that?
Yaz has a good question, and this is a good one for a lot of people. Any advice for a student witch in the closet still living at home with a Muslim dad?
Be careful.
Actually, one, be careful. Two, for things that don't look conspicuous, is you can actually use anything that you have around you. A seashell, if you want to represent water, or an unlit candle for fire, or a feather that you pick up off the ground for air. A rock for earth if you want to represent elements. If you want to represent deities, if I wanted to represent Hecate without it looking witchy, a moon.
Chairperson.
Or a dog. Or an owl.
If you want an altar and you're in the closet, get something like this. Put it underneath your bed.
She's got everything in there.
This is my travel altar. But if you feel like you need to have things to represent, just get yourself a little carrying case.
Yes, I had one of those for years because I was in the closet and I wasn't comfortable coming out of it. So I had a little pink plastic box that I'd had since I was a kid that had kitty makeup in it. And I put all my little altar pieces in it. And for all my parents knew, it had makeup in it.
Yep. Get a caboodle from the 80s. There you go.
Absolutely. And the good thing about this spiritual path is because it's nature-based, you can have all kinds of things around your house out in the open that nobody will have any, like You can like the beach. Nobody cares if you have like a little thing of sand and a couple seashells and stuff out. They're not going to think anything.
Yep.
Right.
If you're an air person, if you have, a feather and a picture of clouds, driftwood, there you go.
He's a
Mhm.
driftwood.
There you go. Nobody cares if you have,
No one
if you're a
talked about
natural.
Cleveland.
That's my creation for Lakshmi, and I call it a Zen garden.
There you go. Perfect. Absolutely.
Yep.
Good.
Pat had a really good comment. A bowl of water with some rocks and a floating candle. You can have all 4 of your elements right there.
Yep.
Yep.
Love it. Love it.
Altars, Dragon Witch or Dragon Wings wants to know, is altar essential for witchcraft?
Nope.
No. Don't have to have an altar at all.
You know what the only thing essential is? What's in here.
That's
Inside
it.
You are the
You're
only
it.
essential thing. Because you don't even have to have a piece of paper to do a spell, because it's all your intention that matters. So you
Completely.
don't have to get elaborate. You don't have to have a huge altar. I mean, we've got a 1-bedroom place. We've got Dana's altar, our abundance altar, Shauna's altar, my altar, and I mean, my altar is probably about the biggest one here because it's on top of my dresser. But I mean, you can have your altar in your mind. Draw it in your mind. Draw the altar in your mind. That's all you need.
You
Absolutely.
can build your her altar inside your own mind, in your imagination. And I said it in the last live, I will say it again. Just because it's in your mind, it's all in your head, doesn't mean it's not real.
That's right. For sure. I liked Ben's idea. I put it up there. 4 different shot glasses with different representations inside. Put a little candle in one. Put a half of shot glass of water in another. Some sand or dirt in another. And just the empty shot glass for air. I've seen that. And it's a really pretty representation of nature.
Dana, I
Suddenly
will have to
spotted
send you
something.
pictures of your altar so you can see it. I thought we already had, but
Something I thought of. I used to have this for an earth representation. Because and back when I was in the closet. Because who the hell's gonna get onto me for having a flower statue?
I think Elizabeth Warren just destroyed Bloomberg's candidacy.
Yes.
Oh, and
We're almost done.
ooh, I like that. I like that, Layla.
You got the peacock. I have 2 of those animals and I could not find the peacock. That is my spirit animal. I have an elephant and something else.
but who's gonna tell me I'm not allowed to have a peacock?
That's right. That's right. For sure.
I'm like especially excited right now because our box of goodies is supposed to come from Cass on Friday, finally. And at that point, I'll show you guys here in a couple minutes what my altar looks like right now. And then after Friday, it's going to be completely different because I've got new stuff coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
exciting.
apparently Hexen wants me to do another altar tour on my channel, so
Yeah. So exciting.
Yeah. So
Any box from Cass is awesome.
always exciting.
this is my altar.
Aww.
Of course, it's not active right now because I got home and came straight online.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've got the painting that our niece Shaylee did and the one that Shauna did. So, and I've done it a few times on my YouTube. If you want to go to my YouTube, you can go and check it out. I've done tours and explaining everything on it. So,
Yay.
Yep. And by the way, there's my altar. It's on top of a hope chest.
Yep.
It doesn't have to take up a lot of room.
no, not at all.
I'm so jealous right now. Usually I am like all altered out, but my only 2 altars now are downstairs. I have my Dana altar, which is like, unfortunately, this little area surrounded by the shit that is piled everywhere because I have so many people in my house. And then my regular big solid altar. Can't wait to get my house back. I need my house.
But also, because I know not everyone has that much, has even a little bitty hope chest. See those little tiny cubbies? I've built altars in those.
Awesome.
A little hope chest, and she's got a little altar in each one.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Cute. Cute.
What's in your closet?
no, it's a mess.
Oh.
No, it's a mess.
But here, for context,
Oh, good.
I've built altars in those cubbies.
Those are
That-
altars.
Oh,
See,
That
that's
is
perfect.
hell yeah.
okay, I'll give you.
Uh-oh, she's going to give you a treat. Open camera.
The house is a mess. I'm gonna go like that.
Wait.
Oh my God. Shauna,
Okay.
all right, I'm going to show my house in a minute if you don't cut it out. Then you'll feel like your house is a damn castle right now.
All right, so there's Anana. I usually don't show my personal space, but so this, see if I could back up more. That's my whole altar. So the top right here, that's where I do a lot of my healing work right there. Okay. And then when my mom comes over, because I'm still in the closet with her, what I do and then voila, it's just a walking tour.
Outside altars soon. Yeah, that's true, Cass. Thank goodness. Because I'll tell here, you know what? You want to feel better about your space, Shauna? Here.
Okay.
Here's my space. Uh-huh. That's the kids cleaning nothing that they do in this upstairs living room. Nothing. There's wait, some of my shit over here. Look, yeah, piled up here. It's like to the ceiling. Yeah,
You don't need to come out there.
my space.
You need me.
Yes. Good. All right. So I'm going to flip the other light on for you guys, and we will show you Dana's altar.
Yay.
And that's Dana's altar.
I love that.
Our crystal skull, and that is my little dragon Scully that likes to hang out over here.
Mhm.
And there's Moonin, my
There's-
raven,
There's a reason for everything
Yep.
on there. It's a chakra healing.
and it's
container.
a healing grid.
Yeah.
So
Love it.
And by the way, over on my channel, there are altar tours of altars built onto those shelves.
yeah,
Love it.
Too. That little tiny shelf right there has been in the middle has been an altar before. This one, I have turned into an altar before. I've turned this one into an altar before. You can build an altar anywhere.
Ben, I didn't have time yet. I jumped in the shower. But Dana, I have 3 actually altars to send you tonight. I send at least daily. Yes. So Dana gets all you guys, when I get pictures of your altars, I always send them to Dana so she knows what kind of workings are going on.
Yas has a question. Is it necessary to have a Book of Shadows or a grimoire? I'm an artist, so I love spending lots of time on the pages, and my perfectionism takes over, so I don't use it as often as I would like to. You don't have to have one. You can, and if you want to. And honestly, he will say it 1,001 times until I am out of breath. You cannot mess up your Book of Shadows or your grimoire or your altar because it's yours. It's for you.
guess what? I don't have one.
And you do not have to have one. I will say, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't call it a book of shadows to begin with, but I would have some kind of journal when you're just starting out. Cause like I said, you want to at least remember what works for you. And so you want to, when you're doing trial and error kind of stuff, you want to say, perfect. Yep. You want to be able to say, oh, you know what? I used basil. I burned some basil and it really brought in this prosperity energy that I had never felt before that worked really well. So you're going to write in there, burning basil, prosperity energy. So that next time you need prosperity, you're like, oh, what was that shit that worked for me?
Yeah.
But yes,
And it can be as
I
simple
use
as
these
like-
all the time.
It can be as simple as going to Dollar General or Walmart and getting one of those little composition notebooks. Done.
Yep.
True, it is kind of a phone of shadows because I keep all my notes on here.
Yep.
Okay, let's see if I can get these.
Yep.
Stack
Yeah.
of
Those
freaking
are
composition notebooks full of notes of what works for me.
Yep. Absolutely. I have steno pads everywhere because, of course, I steal them from work. So. Whoops. I totally didn't mean to do that. It jumped. Hold on. Little B, yes, rosemary smudge sticks are a thing. Well, all right, hold on. I don't know if I've actually bought one ever. I make them though. Is there rosemary smudge sticks? There must be.
There are
I know for
rosemary.
sure that they're with sage. I've seen rosemary and sage. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody besides myself making. I make my own because I like the rosemary smell so much.
Yeah, I've seen them like sage bundles with rosemary blended in with the sage, but I've never seen someone do just a bundle of rosemary and sell it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't remember that either, but yep. All right, guys, we're going to have to wrap this up. I got to be, how do you make them? Oh, so easy. I think do I have a video about it?
I think you do.
I think you do.
So when you are harvesting your herbs, rosemary especially, try to get as long a branch as you can of the rosemary. And then really you are letting them dry. Now, when I do rosemary, when I know I'm going to do rosemary smudge sticks, I do them flat. I don't hang rosemary that I'm going to use for smudge sticks because sometimes the needles fall off. And you want to keep as many needles on the branch as you can for smudge sticks. When I'm just doing it for incense, I put them in a paper bag and hang it. But anyways, so for that, you're going to just lay them flat. So on a basket, usually, because it's good to have airflow to them. Dry them out. Usually you want to dry them out for a day or two, maybe. And then you bundle them together and you take, I have, I don't know, 1,000,000 pounds probably because I get it at work. Here we go. I was going to say, everyone at work knows to save it for me because our laundry comes bundled in all natural cotton string. So I have bundles of it all over my house.
All right, one real quickly.
And that's what I use it for. Hold on real quick. Let me just say, you tie both ends and then you just make a kind of a pattern so that it doesn't fall out. And then leave it for at least 2 weeks to dry before you burn it. And that's it.
So real quickly, thank you to Jewel. She just gave $10 in super chat.
Thank you.
you.
So
And
sweet.
we're going to have one last question as we wrap this up from Yaz. As a closeted witch, I can't really burn stuff for spells or rituals. I find it hard to fully practice my craft at home. Are there any alternative things I can do about this?
Smudge spray. Smudge spray for me is
Water.
Yep, water is really easy. I use distilled water and a couple drops of essential oils, whatever says cleansing to you. They have sage clary sage oil. They have rosemary is very cleansing, lemongrass, whatever's cleansing for you. Put a couple drops in there and spray. Works awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And
Yay.
that is, I mean, you can make anything into a spray.
Yep.
Really.
Absolutely. Okay, so I thank you guys for coming on with me so much. I thank
This is
all
fun.
of you
Always fun.
as a whole for coming. Our next video for the initiation will be Friday. And part of it is going to be on everyday kind of stuff, although we touched on some of that tonight. And then I'm looking at, it's such a big topic. I think we went through Wheel of the Year. I want to stay on basic stuff, but I don't know if I should start with pantheons or types of practice. So I'm thinking about it.
Why don't we put a poll up and have it up? And if you're doing it through email, just email me your opinion of which one of those two you would like on Friday.
So pantheons would be like Celtic. Well, not really. Kind of more specific, probably. Well, Celtic again. There's so many different. Okay, so pantheons would be Norse,
Great. Egyptian.
Sumerian.
Egyptian, Dianic, Gardnerian. Yeah, there's so many. Types of practice would be like Green Witch.
Kitchen witch. Cyber witch.
Yep, absolutely. Moon. There's some witches that just concentrate on lunar.
Yep.
So look for the poll on Facebook if you're on the Facebook group, or just email me which one of those two you would like.
Cass, it's 8 o'clock on Friday, which I know doesn't work for you. I'm sorry. I know.
Sorry, Cass.
And I feel bad because I always miss your pretties, but my wallet thanks me.
My wallet is thanking me.
I'm going to spend enough, I'm sure, on Saturday when I come. I'm really hoping my taxes come before then, but I haven't seen any hide nor hear of them yet. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
looking
And
for you right
before we go, sorry, guys, really quickly, I just wanted to say so that everybody knew I started a new thing today. And I put it up today. What did I call it? Shit. Mama Squirrels Tarot Raffle, I think it's called. So what it is we're going to pick a specific deck. I'm going to put up a poll, and whichever deck has the most votes, that's the first deck, which it looks like this time is probably going to be Light Seers, but we'll see. So let's say Light Seers wins. Light Seers deck is going to be what you're raffling for. $1 equals one entry. And once we get enough money to buy that deck, plus $25. Now, I want to explain the $25 thing in case people didn't understand it before. Every time I do a raffle for it, I'm going to have $25 until I have some amount that I know I don't have to worry about it. But I want to make sure I do this so that it is internationally people can enter and not have to worry about paying extra shipping if you're in Australia or in Britain or anything. So that part of the fund is just going to be left in there for international shipping. So if somebody wins that's international, we don't have to worry about coming up, oh shit, now it's in Britain. The winner was in Britain, so now we have to come up with extra money to ship it. Okay. So that extra money is going to stay in there for when someone wins from out of the US, which it would be more shipping cost. And it is set up in my PayPal as a separate, what do they call it? A separate money pool. So it just stays in there. $1 equals one entry. And then once we get enough money for that deck, we'll pull and say the winner live, and then we'll do another deck. So that people who can't afford decks, maybe, if you do $1 a week, a couple dollars a week or whatever, then you can get a deck that way maybe. Okay?
Yes.
Yay! So take a look. I love you guys so much. Click the like button, subscribe button. What's the other button? Notification button. And
Yes.
if YouTube feels like
So,
notifying you.
make
Reach
sure
out
you're
to any of us.
subscribed. Hit the like button and ring the notification bell, even though it doesn't work.
Yes, exactly. Now half time they say kiss off. All right. I love you guys so much. We will see you next time. Now, I am taking tomorrow off, right? Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah, I'm taking tomorrow off. So
Tomorrow's
you won't see
Thursday.
me tomorrow. And because I'll be on Friday and Saturday. I love you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.